There are two aspects of Dragon Ball that I like the most. That is comedy and the fights in that particular order. And with Dragon Ball Z Movie 12 Fusion Reborn, this is, from what I can remember, the funniest of the original 13 Dragon Ball Z movies, and also it delivers a unique art style to it, which I enjoyed as well. From what I can gather, Fusion Reborn is set somewhere within an alternate timeline of Dragon Ball Z, somewhere after, I think, the defeat of Buu, which sounds kind of confusing, but this really isn't the first time they've done that. The premise for this movie is that the Spirit Cleanser in the check-in station of Earth, where people die and their spirits are sent to the check-in station if they're evil, then they go to hell, but first they go through the Spirit Cleanser, which doesn't make any sense because if you're going to be cleansed, then why are you going to hell anyways? But they go through the Spirit Cleanser, and that gets stopped up, it gets backed up, and one of the tanks of all of the evil, I guess, energy explodes, and all of the evil energy throughout the entirety of mankind gets released at once, and all of these evil people come out. There's Dracula, there's Hitler. There was one person working at this check-in station when all of this evil energy was released, and he gets transformed into this giant evil creature known as Janemba, and he encases the check-in station with Yanma inside of it, inside of this giant jelly bean, and you see all of these jelly beans and gumball looking things floating around it and everywhere, even down in hell, and also on the other side of the universe where Goku is competing in this competition against Pikkon. Goku and Pikkon stop their fight in instant transmission out to the check-in station to free Yanma and also to defeat Janemba. Because the check-in station is completely blocked off, there's nowhere for the spirits to go, so all of the dead returns to Earth, and the same goes for this evil energy that was released with the explosion of the Spirit Cleanser. So we've got this giant Nazi army with their tanks being led by Hitler on Earth, and it's really enjoyable watching this because we've got Goten and Trunks fighting against Hitler and his army. We've got Hercule fighting against these zombies, trying to prove himself, trying to act like a badass. And of course, with the release of all of this evil energy and everyone getting their body back, we see Vegeta fighting alongside Goku against Janemba. As you guessed from the title, there are going to be a lot of fusions here because Janemba is so powerful that not one person can handle him by himself, because he has the ability to open up these portals and punch one hole into one portal and have his fist come out the other end all the way over by you. There was one point where Goku shot a Kamehameha at him, and he somehow replicated Goku in his hand and shot a Kamehameha back at him, and then he condensed all of his energy into this smaller looking being that really looked like Cooler to me, but it was a little bit different. He looked more like a demon, but in the shape of Cooler. One strange thing that leads me to believe that this movie is in an alternate timeline, because it appears that this is the very first fusion of Goku and Vegeta, but there was also another first fusion in the series as well, where they wore the earrings and they force fused themselves, but in this movie they've got to use the fusion technique. Of course, at first, that doesn't work out right. We get this massive blob of a character that all he's good for is just to fart on Janemba, and that was really funny watching that. And of course, after 30 minutes, they break apart and refuse and get it right, forming Gogeta. One thing I would like to see in this movie, but I'm not sure if it's possible within the Dragon Ball Z lore, is if you think about it, Vegeta in this movie is talking about how Goku's gotten a lot stronger than he has. So if you've got Pikkon, who's standing toe-to-toe with Goku, and you've got Vegeta, who's weaker than Goku, and this is their first time fusing anyway, so they don't really know how it's going to work out. Why don't you have Pikkon and Goku fuse? That would be really great, and it would also give an excuse to the creators of this movie to make Janemba even stronger, so that they would have to go even stronger to defeat him. I'm not gonna lie, I just want to see a green Goku, that's all. But the appearance of Vegeta in this movie was done well, because we see some emotion from Vegeta, just dwelling on how he's weaker than Goku and how he's been dead this entire time and he couldn't train, and Goku continuously gets stronger while he's at the same place. Moving on to the overall presentation, this movie has beautiful animation to it. It's got a beautiful usage of colors. You'll see all of these gumballs and everything floating around in the sky with all these different colors, and then you see this big red lake, and then you see all of these bullets being shot by the Nazi army. They're all different colors as well. It really did have a great usage of color, and then the art style did switch up a bit with the Goten and Trunks versus Hitler fight, because all all the characters there, Hitler, his army, the tanks, Goten and Trunks, they all had these giant black outlines around them, and it made it feel even more cartoony than it already did. So I really enjoyed that, but everything else aside from that, all of the characters aside from that one moment there, they all look pretty much how you would expect Dragon Ball to look from 1995 anyway. So the animation to this is really good, but there's one fault that I have about this. I picked this up with the movie pack. I bought all of the DBZ movies, all 13 movies, for probably like $30 altogether. You cannot argue with that price, but you're getting a drop in quality. If you have a Blu-ray player, this would be one movie that I regret buying on DVD. I should own this on Blu-ray just because it's a beautiful movie. And another thing that kind of hurts this is that it's been stretched and cropped to the 16:9 aspect ratio, and you can remaster something. It says that it's digitally remastered, but when you stretch it that much, it kind of defeats the purpose of remastering it anyways, because you got to go back and remaster it again because you're stretching it to fit the screen. Moving on to the audio, we have 3 different forms of audio. One of them is the Japanese audio with the Japanese voice acting. Secondly, we've got the English voice acting with the Japanese music. And third, we've got the English voice acting with the US music for this. And out of all of these, I'm gonna say that I prefer the English audio with the US music to it. I've seen this movie a number of times, and the Japanese background music is really good, but there's just something about that US music for it, that rock that they put behind it. It really does kick up the fights to that next level. So I would have to give Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn an 8 out of 10. This is a really great movie. It's got a lot of comedy, it's got a lot of action, it's got a lot of beautiful colors to it, and the animation does change up a little bit here, and it looks really great. Do yourself a favor and pick this up on Blu-ray if you're planning to buy this. If you've seen Fusion Reborn, then let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. Fusion Ha! Ah! Thanks for watching.